Going on a budget holiday isn't just about finding cheap flights and cheap hotels. I'm preparing properly like I always do. So your cheap trip doesn't turn into an expensive disaster. I'm heading to Marrakesh on Monday, and here's how I'm planning to survive without spending more than I have to do. Right, so as I said, we're off to Marrakesh on a budget, and I don't mean influencer on a budget, I mean actual budget. Don't forget, this holiday actually started at £100, I've added a bit more on, but it's still below 230 each. So we're in a basic riad, tent in the desert, and a nicer hotel for the last few days. We're moving around a bit, the full budget travel spectrum. But here's the thing, when you travel cheap, you've got to plan smart, because the price you pay isn't in pounds, it's in sleep, comfort and general weirdness. Here's how I'm planning to make it work, and how you can too. It's all about the research. The best place for that is YouTube. That's where I get all my stuff from. So first up is getting to the airport. We've got a 5:30 AM flight, that's why it was cheap, which means you've got to be in the airport for 3:30, we're in the long stay, you've got to allow half an hour for that. It means we're going to be getting out of the car at 3 AM. Now, I wasn't going to book a hotel. I normally do. We live 5 hours away from London. Most of my flights go from London, and we normally have a hotel. So this time I've booked the airport car park to start the night before. We're going to get there for 11 o'clock. Again, research, make sure it's one that you don't have to leave the keys. Planning on getting there for about 11, because Suin's coming straight from work, I'm going straight from work, and we've got a good 4-hour drive down there. And the plan is to have a couple of hours kip in the car. Probably won't get much. I know Suin won't, she'll be excited. And then it's the best bit of a 4-hour flight to get there. Chances are we're going to grab another 2 or 3 hours on that. So hopefully we're going to land in Marrakesh with somewhere between 4 and 6 hours sleep. That's roughly what I get anyway. It's not perfect, but I am not paying for a hotel to get up in the middle of the night. Now here's the biggie, packing. I'm not sure if you've seen this one before, but this is my Norway bag. I've had it for 3 years. It fits under the seat of most budget airlines. If it ain't going in there, it ain't going. I've had that for 3 years. It takes me home every weekend because I work away, and it's taken me on, I think, 13 holidays, 12 quid. But the main reason I'm not overpacking is we're moving around. So the golden rule is pack light, pack cheap, pack smart. And from what I'm hearing about Marrakesh, they're a poor country. I'm not saying they're thieves. However, shiny things are shiny things. I can't live without my iPad, but I'm not taking it there. I don't wear an expensive watch. My camera's going to be in a bag because I do a bit of influencing, let's face it. Remove the temptation, remove the tears. If something gets lost or stolen or goes walkies in the Sahara, I don't want to cry over it. Essentials only. Less you take, the less there is to lose. And I've heard they're really persuasive at selling you crap, so you'll have space to bring stuff back. Next one is weird local anomalies. Apparently in Morocco, toilet roll isn't standard. In fact, the hotels we've booked, it was listed as an advantage, which raises all sorts of questions I don't want answers to. What do they do? No, let's not go there. So yes, we're taking a toilet roll. Trust me, in some situations, that roll is going to be more valuable than an extra pair of socks. Get my drift? You only use the socks once. And here's a good one, they don't accept mobile boarding passes on the return flight. So I've printed it out, like it's 2006. Plan ahead or be the idiot in the check-in queue with no paper and a dead phone. Again, research the situation. It says you can go to the Wizz Air check-in desk and they'll print one. What if their printer's not working? It's the space of 2 bits of paper. I'm gonna cover that base. Now, arrival in customs. Customs can be slow, and I mean glacially slow. So we're keeping it simple. Again, research tells me no drones, I haven't got one anyway, no suspicious looking gadgets, and nothing you wouldn't want to explain to a grumpy border guard. If it might raise eyebrows, leave it at home. It's just not worth the chat. Again, money. Research it, find out what it is. The normal advice is do not change your money at the airport, but we found out the place we're going, it's actually not a bad idea. It's a closed currency, so you can't take any in, and everywhere is cash only. So the standard advice is use a travel card. That isn't going to help. Well, we're taking UK pounds and changing some at the airport. Yes, the rate isn't that great, but apparently the rate isn't that great in Morocco anyway. But you arrive with money in your hand, not desperately looking for an ATM, with a taxi meter running. Which brings me on to the next one, getting from the airport to the city. Uber, it doesn't work out there. There are apps, but apparently they're a bit like an auction. Sounds confusing. There is a bus. Check in advance on Google Maps how accessible that is. It doesn't look too bad. However, we may get there tired, grumpy, and jump in a cab. Know the price before you get in. I know this is standard advice all over the world, but just say to him, how much? And if he won't give you a price, get the bus. If your driver says, where's your hotel, and taps on his meter with a smile, get ready to see every side street in Marrakesh. But just say, how much? It's simple. I think we're going to take the bus, to be honest. Now, phone and data. Most places I've been in the world, I've just accepted the roaming charge. You get the same data allowance you have back home for anywhere between £5 and £6 a day. I don't go for that long. It's just easier, isn't it? Yeah, in Tokyo we got a portable Wi-Fi. For some reason I felt more confident in the ability to pick one up at the airport there than I do in Marrakesh. So I'm trying an eSIM this time, and I'm going to use Airalo. It's not an endorsement. I haven't tried them yet. If it works, I'll let you know. But it's always worth checking what your provider charges before you land and rack up £40 on TikTok by accident. The eSIM I've got hasn't got a particularly great allowance unless you go unlimited, but they say if you go unlimited, you're limited to 4G. I think you'd be lucky to get a signal. And the other thing you've got to take into account is if you're using data only, your phone's not going to work. So you need to tell people before you go to contact you on WhatsApp or any of the other instant messaging apps. Again, research, planning, do something about it. Now, trips and excursions. Yeah, a lot of people say they pick up some great ones in the marketplace, but ask yourself this: does the guy with the same pictures that you've seen in the ads online, does he have to worry about online reviews? He's just going to show the same pictures you've already seen. And I've heard some horror stories, not just about Morocco, lots of countries. Yeah, you might lose some of the authenticity by not booking that private guide, but getting stranded in the middle of the Sahara by some guy that's thrown a wobbly because you won't give him any more money is a bit too authentic for me. So I'm booking my main trips through Viator in advance, but leaving a bit of space in my schedule for other things. We've booked the 3-day safari, and we're probably booking the trip to the Uzud waterfalls. I'll book them when I'm on the plane. But again, it says what you're going to get. You pay with your credit card. You can take it up with them. Viator's a big company. I've heard horror stories, but at least you've got a chance of getting your money back. When you hand a guy the equivalent of £100 for a day private tour, and he decides his day finishes at 11, you ain't getting your money back, and it'll ruin the holiday. I know you'll lose a bit of authenticity, but you'll at least stand a chance of getting what you pay for. Now the other one is cultural prep. Morocco's beautiful, it's intense. You'll be offered help, then ask for money. Want a picture of a monkey? That's going to cost you. He'll put the monkey on you and then tell you how much that's going to be. We've developed a strategy. We're going to pretend we only speak Welsh. It's worked before, just pray that one of the vendors didn't go to university in Cardiff. You've got to have a strategy. Some people it's just politely say no. It's going to be hard because you're going to want to engage. You want to get involved with talking to the people because that's half the fun of travel. But in Morocco, talking to tourists is a business. Be very careful. I've heard too many stories of a lady walking to one of the sites, a guy usually with a child, so he looks innocent, will say, "Where you going, love? I'll show you the way." She accepts his offer because the place is like a maze. And then just as they get there, he tells her she owes him $50, $60. You know, keep your wits about you, but don't let it ruin your holiday either. This is probably the most off the beaten track place I've been for a while. I'm going with my teenage daughter, who is my world. I don't want anything bad to happen to her. So do the research. So that's how I prep for a proper budget trip. Plan now, avoid hassle later. I'll be filming the highlights, so you're going to get to see what we did. You might get to see what we did wrong. I'm hoping it will only be happy videos. If you want to see whether this all pays off, hit subscribe. I'm going to chuck some shorts up while I'm out there. I've gone off shorts lately. They seem to affect the videos, but I am going to do some shorts from there. Just keep an eye on the community tab and my posts, and I hope I'm here in a week's time to tell you how it went. Thanks ever so much for watching. Oh, I almost forgot. If I haven't thought of anything in this video that you think I should be aware of, please tell me in the comments, because I will be checking my internet while I'm out there. I would hate to get back, minus my pants, to find out that a bit of advice from you guys could have saved that happening. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.